Sure.
Capture their first ever title in the 3As. Plus all-star soccer action and fall players of the year. It's all straight ahead on the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show.
The Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show.
He's going down the right sideline. He's on right side.
Today's show is brought to you by the Baltimore area Toyota dealers, Best Buy, Dick's Sporting Goods, Geico, and Papa John's.
Hi, and welcome to the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show. I'm Jerry Bembry, sports writer with the Sun. We'll start today's show with the State 3A Championship football game. Eastern Tech entered that game last night with a 12-0 record. But to win the title, the Mavericks had to face Friendly, an undefeated Prince George's County power. Were the Mavericks able to bring home the school's first title? Let's take a look.
The Mavericks of Eastern Tech were taking their undefeated season to Byrd Stadium last night for their first-class 3A state title bout against a tough Friendly team from PG County who's been to the dance a record 12 times, 3 times the victor. And it was the Patriots on the board quickly and steadily all night. Here, tailback Bob Lane finds daylight and shoots into the end zone to put Friendly on top. But the Mavericks got 2 back as Lane fails to handle the ball in the end zone, and Mark Spangler and Ray Jones drop him for the safety. But Friendly would quickly show why they've averaged 45 points in their previous playoff victories as Jamal Strong picks off this Scott Pierce pass and races 45 yards into the zone. The 2-point conversion was good, and Friendly was out in front 15-2. The Mavericks did their best to play catch-up all night, but in the end, the Patriots would prove to be too strong as they danced and dodged their way to their 4th title victory and a perfect 13-0 record. Our congratulations go out to the Patriots for their impressive drive to the title and Eastern Tech for their outstanding efforts this season.
Before we move on with the game highlights, Geico Direct congratulates our players of the year who scored big for their schools this fall season.
Thanksgiving is known for turkey and stuffing, but it always sets the perfect table for the Loyola Calvert Hall showdown. They play this one over at the Raven Stadium. It was all Loyola in the 79th meeting between the two schools. The Don's Kyle Bell got things off on the right foot for his team, races in the end zone for the 10-yard run. It was 7-0. But Bell wasn't done yet. This time he goes in from 1 yard out. 14-0 Loyola after 1 quarter, and it was Thanksgiving, and Bell says, I'm still hungry, and why not? He missed virtually the whole season because of injuries and illness, and he took out his frustrations on the Cardinals, takes the pitch out, then he breaks tackles. Look out, he's in the open field, and he's gone. 192 yards in the day for Bell and 3 touchdowns in his final high school football game. It was 20-0 Dons at the half. Nothing going right for Lou Eckerl's team. Calvert Hall managed just 148 yards in the day and didn't get a first down until midway through the second quarter. Loyola would pour it on in the second half. Brendan Creaney goes up the gut for the quarterback keeper. A 9-yard run made it 27-0, and their fans were all smiles. Calvert Hall broke the shutout here in the 4th quarter. Sean McGarvey finds Raymond Meseros in the end zone for the Cardinals' lone score of the afternoon. But a little later, Loyola put the finishing touches on their blowout. Creaney goes deep for Paul Daly. Loyola crushes Calvert Hall 33-7. It's the Dons' 10th straight win over the Cardinals and their 13th victory in the last 14 meetings. Loyola finishes the year with a 6-4 record, while Calvert Hall falls to 5-6. The best the state had to offer on Monday night over at UMBC. The girls' soccer all-star game had plenty of highlights to offer up as the match pitted the North against the South. Early on, the South strikes first. South River's Nicole Zamaripa gets ahead of the pack here. Deeks the goalie and taps it home. Talked about easy pickings. Well, that's what it was. It was 1-0 South. But back came the North off the throw-in. Melissa Mueller uses her body as a shield, then fires the long-distance shot on goal. Looks like it was deflected, but Mueller would get credit for the goal. The Hereford senior ties it up at 1. More from Mueller as she was awesome all night long. On the break, looks like she's going to pass, but takes it to herself, shoots, scores. 2-1 North. and they continue to pour it on. Emily Bowles of Urbana crosses it in front. Lock Ravens' Natalie Mobley there for the easy put-away. It was 3-1 and looking like a blowout. The South rallied for 2 goals to tie it up before the half. Christina Venn of Glenelg with a great pass to Ginny Jordy of Chesapeake. And just like that, we had ourselves a 1-goal game. The fans certainly got their money's worth in this one. There was plenty of excitement to go around. The South would tie it up thanks to Jordy's skills in front of the net. She beats the goalie on the point-blank shot. She had 2 goals, and we're all tied up at 3 apiece. But the North had the last laugh. Hereford's Melissa Mueller gets it outside the box. Look at the bounce on the AstroTurf field. Gets by the goalie. Mueller, the MVP, 3 goals and an assist as the North holds off the South 4-3.
When we come back, the Oakland Mills football team is looking to win the first state title in school history. Oakland Mills is featured in the Dick's Sporting Goods Big Game of the Week, and it's next on the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show. Welcome back. Unlike their soccer counterparts who have won a record 9 state championships, the Oakland Mills football team has never won a state title. In fact, before this year, the only time Oakland Mills played for a football state title was back in 1982. Oakland Mills had another chance on Friday, playing for the Class 1A state championship against Forestville of Prince George's County. That's the Dick's Sporting Goods Big Game of the Week. Before we go out to Brian Sinkoff at the game, let's get this week's classroom stars. First, from Oakland Mills, we salute Joe Ellis, a senior wide receiver who's earned a 3.2 grade point average. And from Forestville, our hat goes off to senior tight end Gerard Jones, who sports a 3.4 GPA.
We would have a first-time state champion this year in the 1A football finals as Oakland Mills took on Forestville of Prince George's County, and this one came down to the wire. It was scoreless up until the end of the first half, and Forestville would strike first on 4th and 4. Ed Walker makes like Jimmy Walker. He takes the handoff. He's dynamite, cuts it outside for the 5-yard touchdown sweep. They missed the extra point, so they led it 6-0 at the half. In the third quarter, the Scorpions on the move, but T.J. Welsh has his pass intercepted on the goal line by Benjamin Carter, putting an end to the Oakland Mills drive. That was their second costly turnover of the game. On Forestville's next play, check this out. Gary Morgan, the smallest guy on the field at 5'4", shows he's no slouch. Look at these quick cutbacks, and then the little guy shows off his 4.2 speed. Nobody's going to catch him. That was a 57-yard scamper. They missed the extra point again, so it was 12-0 Forestville after 3. But that's when Oakland Mills decided to kick it into gear. T.J. Wells checks off his receiver near side, decides to fire it over the middle. And what have we got here? A wide-open Julian Barfield. He takes it all the way down to the 1-yard line before he gets tripped up. And the Mill would then capitalize. Welsh calls his own number on the quarterback sneak. We've got a ball game as the lead was just 12-7 with plenty of time still left. The Scorpions defense would help the cause in this play. Now, nobody told quarterback D'Angelo Bullock that he was allowed to run forward, and he gets forced way back. Nick Fambro and Robert Scott come up with the quarterback sack, and that's a safety, folks. The score was now 12-9. Oakland Mills gets the ball back, and they manage to drive it all the way down the field. Vinny Rubo follows his big lineman on the counter play, and lo and behold, he's got 12 yards as he gets down to the 2-yard line. And then on the next play, it's Rubo again. He dives in for the go-ahead score. Oakland Mills holds off Forestville 15-12, as they do something no previous Scorpions team has ever done before.
It had been 16 years since Oakland Mills was in a state title game, and it was certainly well worth the wait as the school comes up with their first ever state championship by rallying for 15 points in the fourth quarter.
I haven't been happier in my whole life. This is the greatest thing that ever happened to me, this school, this community. We just didn't win it for us. We won it for all the guys who made this program what it is today.
Thanks, Brian. You know, there are many coaches who never get to experience the thrill of winning a state championship. And then there are coaches like Centennial volleyball coach Mike Bossum. Bossum has coached Centennial for 5 years and has won 4 titles. Let's meet Mike Bossum, Toyota Coach of the Week.
I think the keys to success this year will take young men to work very hard every day at practice.
And practice made perfect for Mike Bossum, who led his Centennial Eagles to the Class 2A volleyball crown. An elementary school phys ed teacher, Mike has a tendency to be demanding, but that's what he feels tends to pay off.
I do demand a lot from my players, but they come to, they exceed my expectations also. And then they come to demand a lot from each other. And they're not satisfied with doing one thing well. They want to be the best at it. And they take that attitude with them when they leave and they go into a club volleyball team, and they take that attitude and they learn as much as they can there. They do camps over the summertime. They work out and they're strong, and they do a whole bunch of things outside of what we do during my short season. And that's why we're able to stay ahead and be strong every year, all that the players do.
Congratulations, Mike Bossum. Now here's a look at some of the area's best student athletes.
Coming up next is the Best Buy Plays of the Week on the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show. Yeah!
Each week, Toyota and the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show will recognize outstanding male and female athletes of the week. This week's winners are Lisa Chapman, a setter on the Centennial volleyball team. Chapman had 35 assists in a win over North Hagerstown that gave Centennial the Class 2A state title. And Adam Crew, a striker on River Hill soccer team. The junior scored 4 goals in a win over Patapsco in the Class 2A title game. We salute Lisa and Adam, the Toyota Athletes of the Week.
I think the team knew going into the season that there was a lot of hard work to be done. The reputation of Centennial has always been and had very high standards, and everyone knew that, and they wanted to hold up to the reputation that it had, but that was going to be hard. And so we all worked really hard every day, and I think it finally paid off.
It paid off big time for Lisa Chapman, who guided her Eagle teammates to a record 8th state title, 3rd straight for Lisa. Talk about pressure.
I felt a lot of pressure this year, being the only returning starter, and there was a lot of pressure put on my shoulders by the coach and different stuff. But I liked the position I hold, and I was happy with the way that I played overall. I think that I had a fairly good season.
She's not a real loud individual, but she communicates well on the court. She really commands respect from the underclassmen. Being only one of 2 starting seniors, I think that was really instrumental in how well they did this year.
I'm very dedicated and committed to what I do. Everything is very important to me, both academics and volleyball. Even though they are important, academics always comes first. But my volleyball is very important to me, and I hope to play in college.
And for her outstanding play in the championship and stellar performance all season, we congratulate Lisa Chapman, our Toyota Female Athlete of the Week.
Adam's very quiet. You know, you can talk with Adam. He's bright and intelligent. But also, I mean, you just basically tell Adam what we've got to do, and usually that solves the problem. He's an extremely coachable kid. He'll do whatever it takes for him to become a better player and a better person, and whatever it needs to be done on a team.
And what junior striker Adam Crew needed to do this week was head to Florida to play on the U.S. national team. We just think he left town to avoid our cameras. But after helping his team to its 2nd straight 2A state title with 17 goals and 14 assists, who are we to stop him from a little fun in the sun?
He got a call about a week before the state finals to join up with the national team down in Cocoa Beach again. So he left the day right after the state finals to fly down to Cocoa Beach about 6 o'clock in the morning, which, you know, that's probably the best accomplishment that a young person can have, is to represent their country.
Any insight, Coach, as to what Adam plans to do in 2 years?
I know that he plans to play soccer in college and use soccer to get him a good education, because, you know, in the long run, that's the most important thing with the student athlete, is to get a good education and use the sport to help you.
Congratulations, Adam Crew, our Toyota Male Athlete of the Week.
Now here's this week's highlights, including the Best Buy Play of the Week and the Best Buy Best Cheer.
We started our Best Buy Plays of the Week with some action from the annual Loyola Calvert Hall football game. This is called Threading the Needle. Loyola's Brendan Creaney finds Pat Muth, and he comes up with the grab. But turnabout is fair play as Calvert Hall's Sean McGarvey goes up top. Aaron Dennis times it perfectly and manages to haul it in for the beautiful reception. Over to the pitch now for the girls' all-star soccer game. Ann Reiser of Middletown looking for the glory, but not this time as Bowie's Kristen Songer makes the lunging save. Back over to the gridiron for more defense. Loyola's Dan Fink says, "Gimme that," as he picks off the Sean McGarvey Harvey pass, then races down the sidelines in the Dons' big win over the Cardinals. And our Best Buy Outstanding Play of the Week comes courtesy of the Forestville Oakland Mills 1A State Championship game. Check it out in slow-mo. Forestville's D'Angelo Bullock throws this one up for grabs, and would you believe it? 5'4" Gary Morgan outjumps the defender for the catch. Then he races downfield. A great play from one of the quickest players in the state.
Today's Best Buy Best Cheer comes courtesy of the Scorpions from Oakland Mills. Take it away, ladies.
Hey, Brown, who's the best? O-M-H-S. Yell it, O-M-H-S. Hey, Brown, who's the best? O-M-H-S. Yell it, O-M-H-S. Come on. Hey, Brown, who's the best? O-M-H-S. Yell it, O-M-H-S.
When we come back, we'll meet this week's Papa John's featured student athlete. Welcome back. Why is Tom Brown the top receiver in the Oakland Mills football team? Maybe it has something to do with living less than 30 yards from quarterback T.J. Welch, Brown's friend since preschool. Whatever the reason, Brown played a major role in Oakland Mills advancing to the Class 1A state title game. And Brown is this week's Papa John's featured student athlete.
The team's going to the state finals this year. That means a whole lot to me. I had no real expectations for, being great at my position or anything. I just wanted to go to the playoffs. Last year we had a really good team, but we missed the playoffs by less than 1 point, I think. So it means a lot to the school to go to the state finals. So that's what I was looking forward to.
And now having won the state 1A title, Tom Brown's storybook season has ended with a bang. He was one of the top receivers in the metro area with 43 receptions and over 900 yards, not to mention 9 touchdowns. Hard to believe he just picked the game up last year.
I've only played football for 2 years, so last year I wasn't too good. So being successful in football makes it a lot more fun.
And being successful on the field and the classroom is what drives Tom as well. He's 39th in a class of over 200 in grade point average. But this is to be expected.
In my house, like my sister played sports, my brother played sports, and they were successful at Oakland Mills, and so that's what I really wanted to do. I've always wanted to be successful in sports, and being successful in school is kind of just, it's expected, I guess. You're supposed to do your work. It's the same thing on the football field. You're supposed to work hard. You're expected to do that, so you do it. You're expected to do your work in school, so you do it.
Tom Brown has made his mark here at Oakland Mills High School, along with the rest of his family. He cares a great deal about the friends he's made since he's been here, as well as the rich tradition he'll be leaving behind.
I know this school means a lot to me. A lot of high school kids my age, they could really care less about the school athletics and the history of the school, but with me, I think maybe it's because I've had older brothers and sisters. I know what the school's about, and I know the history behind it, and what a great school really is, and so I care a lot about the school, and I try to. My actions on, I try to reflect the school, and I hope that, I make the school look better, because it does mean a lot to me.
Thanks, Elena. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching the Baltimore Sun High School Sports Show. We hope you enjoyed our coverage of the fall season, and we hope you tune in next week for a look at the winter sports season, including a sneak peek at basketball. I'm Jerry Bembry, sports writer with the Sun. Until next Sunday, have a great school week ahead. The Toyota Prep Athlete Awards are courtesy of Larry Beck.